Good morning and welcome to Wichita State University's Weekly Briefing. I'm Tracy Freese, Director of Communication for Research and Tech Transfer. These weekly briefings are held in an effort to keep the campus and public better informed about the changes occurring at Wichita State. Following the update in today's featured topic, there will be a time for questions. To start, we want to thank everyone for the outpouring of sympathy and support since the passing of our President, John Bardo, on March 12th. To quote Kansas Board of Regents Chair Dennis Mullen, "We will miss him as a leader and a person and are thankful for the opportunity to have worked with him. Wichita State University, the City of Wichita, and the state of Kansas are better places because of John Bardo." These sentiments were echoed by Provost Rick Muma, who wrote, "President Bardo had a profound, positive impact on Wichita State and the community. Future generations of students will benefit from his foresight and leadership." An event celebrating President Bardo's life will be held on Thursday, May 9. We'll provide additional details as they are confirmed. Those who would like to honor President Bardo may do so by supporting the Deborah J. Bardo Scholarship, named for the President's wife and established in 2012. It is given annually to an incoming freshman with financial need, with children of Wichita State faculty and staff given preference. Donations to the scholarship can be made through the WSU Foundation by visiting foundation.wichita.edu. Click on the Memorials and Tributes tab. On Tuesday, the Rudd Foundation announced its second class of Rudd Scholars, awarding $1.4 million in scholarships to 25 high school seniors from across the state. The Rudd Scholarship is a competitive 4-year award designed to pay any remaining college costs after accounting for all other grants, scholarships, and financial awards. The scholarship only applies towards studies at Emporia State, Fort Hays State, and Wichita State. Rudd Scholars are a select group of students chosen for their leadership, grit, determination, work ethic, academic performance, and overall potential, characteristics that embody what it means to be a Shocker. That said, we're happy to announce that out of this year's 25 Rudd Scholars, 15 have chosen to attend Wichita State. Also attending Wichita State starting this August are the 2 newest recipients of the Professor Fran Jabera Scholarship in Entrepreneurship. The $25,000 Jabera Scholarship is one of the most prestigious at Wichita State and one of the largest entrepreneurship scholarships nationally. This year's winners are high school seniors Andrea Hernandez from Bishop Carroll and Peyton Jensen from Andover Central. Hernandez is president of the Spanish Club at Bishop Carroll, a member of her school's art club, and volunteers at summer art camp. She's also involved with her church and volunteers at the Lord's Diner. Jensen is a Kansas Honors Scholar, has varsity letters in football and basketball, and took part in Youth Entrepreneurs of Kansas his junior year. He's also an active volunteer working with Kids for Kids Club as an elementary school student helper, coaching junior basketball and football camps. We look forward to having all of these outstanding students on our campus this fall. The College of Engineering continues to make national headlines for its quality education and research capabilities. In newly released national rankings of universities offering a PhD in engineering, Wichita State's College of Engineering is ranked in the top 100 engineering graduate programs, one of only 2 institutions from the state of Kansas to make the list. The 2020 rankings by U.S. News and World Report are based on a number of factors, including reputation among peer institutions and industry recruiters, student selectivity, faculty resources, and research expenditures, an area where Wichita State far outperforms its peers. Impressively, Wichita State's 95th ranking is tied with a number of state flagship universities, including the University of Kansas, University of Kentucky, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and University of South Carolina. To quote Dennis Livesey, engineering dean, "These rankings confirm that Wichita State is not only the best value proposition for an engineering education in the state of Kansas, our high level of research activity rightfully places us among the best in the nation. It verifies that we are living up to our designation as Kansas' only urban public research university by providing an affordable education to our community and by helping industry solve its most pressing issues through research." Also speaking of research, we are pleased to announce that tomorrow the university and the U.S. Economic Development Administration will hold a news conference at 1 p.m. in the Aviation Testing Laboratory on Wichita State's main campus. The announcement will provide details on a significant EDA grant awarded to the National Institute for Aviation Research for Advanced Manufacturing Research and will be hosted by U.S. Senator Jerry Moran, a newly appointed Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Economic Development, Dr. John C. Fleming. The trip to Wichita will be Secretary Fleming's first on the job. As you may know, the university's newest partnership building, P2, is close to full occupancy. Spirit Aerosystems moved into a large space on the second floor last month. WSU's NIAR Advanced Research Program is also expected to move into P2 later this month, sharing the second floor with Spirit. Based on the success of P2, we recently broke ground on P3 to accommodate the growing number of companies and organizations looking to partner with Wichita State by employing students and harnessing the technology, research, and expertise on campus. On Monday, Housing and Residence Life started conducting hard hat tours of the newest residence hall, The Suites. These 20-minute tours are now offered Monday through Friday from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. The tours start and end at the front desk at the Flats. Those interested in touring must wear closed-toed shoes. We encourage you to take a tour and get a first-hand look at the comfort, convenience, and community Wichita State offers campus residents. If you have questions about the tours, email Katie Austin at katie, K-A-T-I-E, .austin@wichita.edu. And now I'd like to introduce Tyler Levesque, Wichita State Esports Coordinator, to discuss the popularity of esports on campus and how Wichita State is supporting the growing number of esports enthusiasts.
Thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Tyler Levesque, and I'm the coordinator of esports here at Wichita State University. And before I begin, I would just like to say thank you to a couple of departments that have been instrumental in the development of the esports program. So thank you so much, Student Affairs, Development, College of Applied Studies, Campus Recreation, and the Sport Management Department. They've been instrumental in the development of our program and providing a strong infrastructure for the future. So as you can tell on this slide, I included a quick little fact about esports, just to give you a little perspective of the industry. So the fact is that esports will become a $1.2 billion market in 2019, along with 500 plus higher education institutions housing some form of gaming presence on campus. So just to give you a little perspective of the industry, there seems to be a debate over whether or not esports, if it's a positive or a negative thing for students to be participating at such a high level. Well, at this point, esports as an industry has arrived, and you're going to be pressed to find most campuses or most higher education institutions not housing some form of esports on campus. So sticking with the theme of innovation that Wichita State has been pushing for so many years, that esports is a product of that innovative mindset. So I'm extremely thankful for all of these departments helping establish such a strong infrastructure in terms of esports.
My name is Blaine Steckline. I'm a junior, and my major is in computer science, and I have a minor in Japanese. I'm a flex DPS player, which is the damage per second role, but the flex basically is able to play the majority of the hero pool to fill in the holes that the team needs when they need it. About a year and a half ago, I played what some would say semi-professional or pushing towards the low tiers of pro. I kind of gained a lot of experience there, so coming here to Wichita State, they're coming at this and saying, hey, this is a real sport. Just kind of that acceptance and like, oh, these guys are actually athletes and doing something that's pretty cool is a great thing. I have like a burning kind of competitive spirit, and it's something that, wow, I have an opportunity where I can apply all this time that I've taken and put into it actually, and apply it here at a university level with like my friends and stuff. I think that's just like kind of a great opportunity.
All right, back up, regroup. They don't have that much distance they can get with that.
Okay, I have grabbed.
Just grab and then dragon.
Oh my god.
So nice.
Oh, we're playing good, guys.
You just go straight in. Good point.
Yeah, I'm on point.
All done. Ward off. I'm ward off.
It's okay.
And stop moving off. Really good.
Let's go.
Maybe.
Really easy place to find people that enjoy games. Like, and I play other games other than Overwatch. So it's been great for me just to come here, find people, just have a good time. And I think for me that's kind of the best part about a college experience is being able to make friends and have similar interests.
3, dude. Over.
Dude. That blade was so good, dude.
Yeah, that was huge actually.
That was a great call.
So what you just watched there is the gaming title called Overwatch, and it might not have made a whole lot of sense as to what was actually happening in the video in terms of gameplay, but I think one of the most important things that you can take away from that video is that the university esports is now a response to student interest, which is so important because there's such a high level of student interest in terms of video games and playing games at a high level, and then turning that into esports competition at the collegiate level. So I'm extremely excited to help push that initiative and provide infrastructure for students to compete at a high level. So this year, before I dive into the kind of overview of what we're doing, we competed in 2 gaming titles, Overwatch and Rocket League, and we've been extremely successful in both gaming titles. When we have competed against schools, higher education institutions at the size of UCLA, Boise State, UC Irvine. These very large, very popular schools are also pushing this esports initiative, so I'm very excited to see kind of where this goes in the future. So just to give you a little perspective and an overview of what we're trying to accomplish in this esports program, we're going to incorporate elements of varsity competition, which we did this semester, apply learning opportunities, which I'll get into in the next couple of slides, student development, and academic emphasis. So esports as an industry has arrived, and Wichita State has taken a very important first step in recognizing that esports, especially at the collegiate level, is becoming more and more serious. And so, like I said in the first slide, over 500 plus institutions are recognizing esports not only at the club level, but at the varsity level as well. And then number 2, Wichita State esports, we're going to encompass numerous aspects of campus life. So not only will students compete against other institutions, but esports is designing, developing, and deploying programming for applied learning opportunities, which I think is extremely important, that we not only capitalize on the varsity competition, but the other elements that encompass esports as a whole. So this is kind of our design, develop, deploy initiative. So esports as an industry, it encompasses so many different degree paths that are actually currently offered here at Wichita State University. So what we're trying to do is, esports is almost a reflection of those degree paths. So esport management, there's the esport management minor, which is currently being developed, and that's going to offer a path for students to truly immerse themselves in the sport management industry with an esports focus. And I actually designed and developed the only requirement for the esport management minor class, which is my overview of esports course. It's a second 8-week course which students come in and they kind of get a full immersion of the industry, and we discuss all different elements of esports and what that looks like. A degree in computer engineering, so a lot of our students are computer engineers as well. So a computer engineering degree is geared towards students interested in computer architecture and embedded systems. Students are instructed in the design of digital hardware and how to operate in that industry. Also a degree in media arts. This readies students for careers in drawing, animating, modeling, and designing video games, as well as the film industry. And then a degree in sport management prepares students to promote, market, and execute sporting events. So it's very clear that there are a lot of degree paths that house a lot of these different elements of esports, and so it's kind of this esports varsity competition branch that we're building is kind of a reflection of those programs that we already have on campus, and it offers students an actual, real applied learning opportunity to capitalize on those degree paths. And then the applied learning opportunities. So for students, if you're actively working either with the club or with the varsity entity on campus, there's going to be opportunities to stream, produce, and cast live gaming events through Wichita State Television. So we've actually partnered with WSU TV, and we're going to be gathering students to cast live events, which is actually going to be happening very soon, so stay tuned for more announcements on that. Developing skills in video editing and graphic design, which is already happening, so if you follow our social media outlets, you'll see that we've had numerous videos drop on behalf of Wichita State Esports. Develop valuable leadership skills, self-management, ingenuity, and growth and social responsibility through a team atmosphere. I think that's very important because if you truly dive into what the core purpose of traditional sports are, it's to develop people, and esports is also a reflection of developing people as well. So these students gain very valuable player management, team management skills that they wouldn't necessarily get if they were just casually playing a game. Another thing is collaboration in the development of short and long-term achievable competitive video game-related goals, which we're already doing in terms of competing against other higher education institutions. Connecting with multiple student groups across campus to host live competitive events. That's a very strong possibility as we start to outfit more and more rooms on campus with more and more gaming equipment, so we have the ability to host more and more students and students from other schools to come in and play. Coach and manage multiple students, players, in high schools to promote effective player development through a variety of coaching opportunities. So we've already had local high schools reach out asking to partner, looking to host camps over the summer, looking to partner in some form of, in some way in which that we can have our students, our varsity players coach and help manage some of these high school players looking to come to Wichita State University and actually play for us at the varsity level. Interestingly enough, actually yesterday I had our first spring 2020 students send in their information to play a specific gaming title. So it's moving at a very quick pace. So we're trying to capitalize in terms of making sure that these students, we're connecting students where they're at right now. And the last thing is coordinating and developing social media platforms. So I'm sure you all are well aware that social media management and those types of skills are necessary to work in the professional environment. And so these students are going to have the opportunity to develop and work on these social media platforms. Community support, so like I kind of already said, partnership with area high schools, the YMCA partnership on programming and events, so there's a YMCA being built on campus, so the YMCA actually has come through and is looking to possibly partner in some capacity, so there will be the opportunity for us, WSU Esports and the YMCA to partner in some capacity. So large-scale gaming tournaments, we touched on that a little bit. Full-time varsity esports coordinator, which is me. Dedicated space for gaming in the Heskett Center, so that, as you know, the Heskett Center is kind of undergoing a little bit of a remodeling stage, and so they're looking for kind of a new niche to fill, and so esports is filling that niche in terms of the new cardio room and things like that, possibly being outfitted with a gaming arena and students having the ability to come through on campus and play games in the Heskett Center, which I would love to stress that this is extremely important because the Heskett Center also houses Campus Rec, which encourages physical development. So housing these two entities in the same location, gaming and physical development, is extremely key, and it's a great sign in terms of the infrastructure that we're developing here at Wichita State. And then the last thing is 100 plus students are participating in the Shocker Gaming Club. This fact is very important because if it wasn't for the student interest, this esports entity wouldn't exist. So once again, I can't stress enough that this is a complete response to student interest. And that's it. So actually our website is housed under the College of Applied Studies and under the Sport Management Department. So if you're looking for any more information on how do I get involved, what are the requirements to be part of the varsity organization, all of those questions can actually be answered under our website. And I also have an FAQs section hosted in that website as well if you ever have any questions on what esports is, what the industry looks like, and a lot of other questions are answered under that FAQ section. Our social media, please follow us on social media. We're posting content constantly and concerning our students, concerning the stories of our students, what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And then our YouTube, we just launched our YouTube channel, Wichita State Esports. So thank you so much for having me. And if there are any questions, I'd love to answer them. All right, thank you so much.
At this time, I'll take any other questions on today's updates or anything occurring at Wichita State. For questions I'm unable to answer, I'll ask Joe Kleinsasser to follow up with you after this briefing. Be sure he has your contact information.
Is there a update on the possible Barno replacement, kind of what you guys are doing in the meantime?
So the question is there an update on the appointment of a new president? The Kansas Board of Regents is currently in deliberations regarding the appointment of an interim president for Wichita State, and that will be during the time while Wichita State organizes its active search for a new president. The interim president that KBOR appoints will be announced within the next few days. Any other questions? Okay. To close today's briefing, I want to remind you that the projects and initiatives at Wichita State are based on our vision to be internationally recognized as the model for applied learning and research, and our mission to be an essential educational, cultural, and economic driver for Kansas and the greater public good. The next briefing will be held Thursday, March 28th at 10 a.m. Thank you.